can hear you.
All right, great. So without further ado, let's just get started. So everyone, Adiola will be giving us a quick brief about AVAC. Like she's a really spectacular person. So it's only right that we introduce her into the session with formality, and Adiola will be doing justice to that. Over to you, Adiola.
All right, thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. So, a brief bio on our speaker today, Eva Paddy, also known as Eve. She's a software developer and data scientist. She's absolutely obsessed with data and passionate about AI. Her main interest is to save lives and support humanity with the help of AI and data, working full-time at Lidl. In her free time, she writes articles, speaks at conferences about data and AI. Her aim is to make people understand how intelligent applications affect our life, how to use and control them. She is a Microsoft MVP for AI. So, just like my co-host Paul has introduced Azure, our topic for today. So, Azure Cognitive Services can be used in different ways to innovate a web application. Now, users often reach out to customer service outside of office hours and they receive answers only the next day at some point. The online service provider could implement, for example, chatbots that could answer basic questions asked by customers even on weekends or holidays. Customers also get better recommendations based on their activity, or, for instance, if they have problems with their eyesight, they could seamlessly navigate through the web application with the use of different APIs of Azure Cognitive Services. In this demo-oriented session we're going to be having today, you'll be receiving hands-on knowledge about Azure Cognitive Services, how to apply them in your application to provide an intelligent for your customers. So we have a whole lot of it. We have a whole lot. It's going to be an interesting session. So Eva,
Yes.
all right, it's your call.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you a lot for the introduction. I hope you all can hear me well, and you could see my screen soon too, because I'm going to share my screen now.
All
Can you
right,
see
we
my
can.
screen?
Yes.
All right. So first of all, I want to say a great thank you that I can be here today. I wish you a beautiful afternoon today, and so much thankful for joining me, all of you, from so far from where I am actually. I'm talking to you from Denmark, and I hope I could show you some interesting stuff today afternoon. So before I get to the real topic, let me give you an introduction. So it was only a few years ago when we had to walk to a shop in opening hours to get the daily groceries. We had to take a day off from work, sometimes to deal with banking or other matters. And these services were only available in working hours. We also had to wait a lot in line, and we sometimes even had to go home without getting what we wanted. Today, it doesn't really matter anymore whether you need a laptop or groceries. You can get it all from the comfort of your home. Should it be day or night, holiday or weekend. Online services and web shops aiming to provide a forever user care and a personalized experience to boost customer satisfaction. Customer services should be available round the clock and round the year. So how these needs could be fulfilled quickly and the simplest way as possible, and preferably not too costly. Artificial intelligence can be used to increase sales, to automate some time-consuming and monotonous tasks. It can also reduce costs, and it could optimize resources and user experience. Additionally, customer services could provide faster and better answers using artificial intelligence. Also, the AI agents are more available day and night again. By this, it helps humans saving time and focusing on more complex tasks that cannot be completed without human interaction. Before I'm going on and telling you about how can this actually be possible, let me give you a quick introduction about who am I. And I want to say thank you again for the great intro, because there is not much to say anymore. All I want to say to you is that if you want, you are welcome to write me an email, connect me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter, and find my Facebook page as well. And feel free to reach out, because I was also an MSP at some point, and I know that to be an MSP, it is a really great thing, and you really should extend your network all around the world. So I hope you will contact me when you get the time. So I'm speaking a lot at different conferences, meetups, and community events, just like this one as well. I am actually part of the global AI community too. And my aim is to extend the knowledge of artificial intelligence all around the world, and to make people understand how these systems work, and make them feel a bit more trust towards these services. So how could someone build intelligence into an application without knowing the ins and outs of deep learning and predictive analytics? I have a solution for you. It is called Cognitive Services. Cognitive Services bring AI within reach of every developer without requiring machine learning expertise. All it takes is an API call to the ability to see, hear, speak, search, understand, and accelerate decision making into your applications. So in this session, I would like to give you an introduction to these services and give some inspiration how you could bring intelligence into your applications as well. Azure Cognitive Services are APIs, SDKs, and services that are available to help developers build intelligent applications without having direct AI or data science skills or knowledge. Azure Cognitive Services enable developers to easily add cognitive features into their applications. The goal is to help developers create applications that can see, hear, speak, understand, and even begin to reason. Let's explore the benefits of cognitive services. First of all, you're welcome to apply AI to more scenarios with the most comprehensive portfolio of domain-specific AI capabilities on the market. You are also welcome to deploy cognitive services anywhere from the cloud to the edge with containers. And you don't need machine learning expertise to work with artificial intelligence services, such as with cognitive services. You can build confidently with the first AI services to achieve human parity in computer vision, speech, and language. The catalog of services within Azure Cognitive Services can be categorized into 5 main pillars: the decision, vision, language, speech, and web search. So before I go into some very crazy details, let me give you a small intro about my favorite services. And I'm saying it like this because what you can see now, this list is sort of full list. But it is a lot of cool services that could be shown today. But I just chose a few ones that are my favorites. Okay, so keep in mind that this is just a piece of the whole world. If you want your application to make better decisions faster, you should use the Decision API, which includes the anomaly detector that is able to identify potential problems early on. You can use the content moderator that detects potentially offensive or unwanted content, and the personalizer that creates rich personalized experiences for every user. If you want to extract meaning from unstructured text, you should use the Language API. You can build natural language understanding into applications, bots, or IoT devices as well. You can create a conversational question and answer layer over your data with the use of the Q&A maker. And thanks to the Text Analytics API, you can detect sentiment, key phrases, and name entities. And by using the translator, Your application can detect and translate more than 60 supported languages.
Sorry to interrupt. Your screen doesn't seem to be appearing.
Oh.
The screen, yeah. Could you check that?
I thought you could see it. It says I am sharing. Didn't it work just before?
No.
All right. It should work. Does it work now? No, I guess not.
Anything.
All right.
I can see your screen now.
Okay, that's interesting. So, how about the others attendees? Can you guys see my screen?
No.
No?
No,
I can't see your screen.
So not, right?
No, I don't think everyone can see it yet.
All right, then.
Okay. I think I can see now.
Problem quickly. I'm just gonna join from another place, and then it should work. So give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to join with another user.
Okay, no problem.
Hi all, I am back online. Let me try and share my screen again. And now you should be able to see my screen.
Yeah, you can see it now.
Awesome. Sorry for that.
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Now it works then. Cool. Can I just continue from here then?
Yeah,
So we went through on the language, the Q&A maker, text analytics later. So you can integrate speech processing into your applications and services with the Speech API. It includes speech to text that transcribes audible speech into readable, searchable text, the text to speech that converts text to lifelike speech for more natural interfaces, and you can integrate real-time speech translation into your applications with the Speech Translation API. And finally, you can identify and verify the people speaking based on audio or actually video too by using the Speaker Recognition API. With Vision API, you can identify and analyze content within images, videos, and digital ink. You can also customize image recognition to fit your business needs. By using the Face API, your application is able to detect and identify people and emotions in images. If you want to extract text, key value pairs, and tables from documents, you just use the form recognizer. You can also build in basic intelligence into your applications by using the Web Search API. And this thing is the coolest thing ever. This API is actually going to search the internet to get you answers and intelligence for your applications. You can search by using images, videos, or customized search is also possible for you. If your application is more focusing on the news, you can use the web searches, news being searched as well that is available. But there are a lot more services than what I just talked about now. And I would like to give you some details now. I would like to show you some real life usage scenarios and maybe some cool demos as well. I hope you will like it. This part is even more interesting than the previous one. So, when you build an online marketplace for your customers who can sell and buy products between each other, just like Facebook Marketplace or Amazon, you need to moderate product catalogs and other user-generated content. Azure Content Moderator is a cognitive service that checks text, image, and video content for material that is potentially offensive, risky, or otherwise undesirable. When this material is found, the service applies appropriate labels or flags to the content, and from this point, your application can then handle this flagged content in order to comply with regulations or maintain the intended environment for users. The response from a content moderator API lists potentially unwanted words and their types as well, and it also lists the possible personal information. Whether it includes profanity, personal information can be like an email, phone number, IP address, and so on. And it also classifies the identified unwanted word into 3 different categories, into sexually explicit or adult, sexually suggestive or mature, or offensive. And in the next demo, I would like to show you first of all how to create the service and how to use this. So all you need to do is to have an Azure subscription. And when you have that, you can go and create a new resource. And what you can do here is to start typing in the search bar that content moderator. And then you can just go to create. Otherwise, you are welcome to start with the documentation that is available for you. Unlike other documentations, these are pretty good. So what you have to do first is to give it a name. We are going to give it like cont mod demo. You just define the subscription where you want to put it. Also, you can define a location. You might want to use the location that is closer to you and it is more available for you. It is more visible on production environments, not really for practicing purposes or trying out purposes. And the pricing tier could be the cheapest one. It's basically free, the standard category. And then you can put it into the resource group as well that you like the best. Because those services that are together in one resource group, those are working better together as well and reaching each other safer too. I won't create this now, otherwise it would take like a few seconds basically. But when it is generated and deployed your service, you can go and take a look at your resource, and then it is putting you into the quick start view of your service. And then you can take a look how can you authenticate your API, then how you can make an API call. You can use the API reference that I mentioned you before that is showing you what are the opportunities you can do with this content moderator API. And you can find some more documentation that is helping you to get started to building this into your application. So let me show you how does this work. We can easily do that with the use of this content moderator review tool. And this is how the dashboard look like. It is showing you this is how many data I have been trying out with this moderator. This is how many I haven't visited yet, so I haven't reviewed it yet, but these are the ones that are reviewed already. So let's go and try out first maybe the text moderator. And we are going to use the default sample text for just now. And please note that we have some email address here, some phone number, IP address, and all kind of cool stuff. And maybe even a bit of a profanity here. Ooh, very ugly, right? All right, what you can do is just to submit this text and then go and review it. So what you can see here is that the language is identified. It is saying that it's English, and then it detected email address, the IPA, its IP address, the phone number, the address as well, and it has returned this whether it has some user information. It is returning true, and it found something profanity as well. It's saying true, and then it also returns what is that term. Can you see the crap over there? And also it shows you the categories I told you about. And we can see that the category 3 is the highest possibility. That it means that according to my content moderator, the crap word is 98% surely it is an offensive word. All right, let's try and use this on an image. So I'm just gonna go and choose a file, something, maybe this. And I'm just submitting this. And I want to review it. And this is the picture I just added now. And it is returning whether it is including adult content, whether it is containing racy content, and it returns the false or true in case there is adult or racy content, and then just an identifier of what is the name of the picture. And if you do this with the video, I can show you with a sample video that is provided for us for demo purposes. It takes a few seconds to get them. But the idea is that this content moderator is really able to find all kind of content that is maybe like a profanity or racy or providing adult content. So we choose a video and submit this content for analyzer. And then I click here to see the results. And from now on, you can basically see the video. I won't start it because it might take a while, but you can also take a look at the whole transcript. This is also gathered from the video during analysis. So it is like a speech to text that you can see here. And you can also find the scores that the video got. So the adult content says it's 25% sure that it is there is an adult content, so that means that is not adult content, and but it is a racy content maybe, and it also got some category scores. This is similar categories of profanity, but it seems like it's very low, so there is nothing really in it. All right, let's go back to our slide and continue to the next one. Customers often try to reach out after working hours to get answers or assistance. Since AI can work 24/7, Friday nights or on Christmas, why shouldn't we just build a chatbot that acts like a human agent and able to answer all the questions of the user? As a great example, let me show you a forever customer care, the Q&A Maker. Q&A Maker is a cloud-based natural language processing service that easily creates a natural conversational layer over your data. It can be used to find the most appropriate answer for any given natural language input from your custom knowledge base of information. A client application for Q&A Maker can be any conversational application that communicates with a user in natural language to answer a question. Sometimes it's making noise. All right. So examples of client applications include social media applications, chatbots, and speech-enabled desktop applications as well. You can use Q&A Maker when you have static information in your knowledge base of answers, and this knowledge base is custom to your needs, which you have as, for example, a PDF file. Imagine this knowledge base as it was like a frequently asked questions stuff. You can make it as a URL or a PDF file. I will show you later how does that work. So when you want to provide the same answer to a request, a question, or a comment, Q&A Maker is really a good choice, especially because when different users submit the same question or similar requests are sent, then the same answer can still be returned. If the answer is part of the predetermined conversation flow represented in your knowledge base with multi-turn context, a bot can easily provide this flow. You can also set this bot to be able to just chit chat. So maybe let's see how it works, and let's try it out. So what I'm doing now again is just going back to my Azure subscription and create a new resource. But this time I'm going to create a Q&A Maker. Again, remember to take a look at documentation when you get there. Otherwise, you can just create a new one. And we can call it Q&A demo stuff. So give it a name, you specify a subscription, you define a pricing tier. You should choose maybe the free to start with, but you can always upgrade it later. You want to define a resource group, and we put it into our favorite resource group. Then we also want to define Azure Search, because what the Q&A maker can do. Azure Search. So what the Q&A maker can do. I'm hearing back myself. All right, thank you. Okay. So hearing back myself. Anyway, so the idea.
I muted the person.
Yeah, thank you. So the idea is that you can choose Azure Search pricing tier as well, which probably you would choose the F1, maybe the free one, and because your Q&A maker can get answers from Bing search as well. So it's basically going on the Bing and gets you the answers if you have some questions that is not found in your documentation. And then you define the region for that as well, which should be North Europe if I find it. There you go. And also your website where your web application, the Q&A maker web application will be found. It also should be in the same area, so it is working much better. If you want app insights, then it should be the same as well. And you just click create. Since I have this Q&A maker also created already, and it takes a bit of a time to get it ready, when the deployment is done, you can go and take a look at the resource and take a look at the quick start thread. Again, you find some information how you can authenticate your API, and then you get some information how you can make an API call. And you find a lot of documentation again that helps you to get started. So how does this work? Now that your Q&A maker is ready to use and it's available in this what is it called? This region, you can just go to qnamaker.ai and then you have to log in. And what you can do next is to go and create a new knowledge base. And the first step is to either create a new Q&A service or connect the one that we have already generated. You choose the directory, the subscription name, and the Q&A service we want to use. And the language should be updated exactly. Good. And we want to add the knowledge base. It should be called, I don't know, maybe some Julia demo knowledge base. And as you can see, you can add the URL. You can also just add, maybe you have a website where you have a frequently asked questions page, and you can just put it in here. And this knowledge base will be used by your Q&A bot to answer the questions, or you can add the file. And for this, I prepared a PDF file. This is basically the user guide of the Surface Pro 4. And in this one, you can see it is like showing information how to get started, what are the different things you can, buttons and all kind of microphone and all kind of information can be found in this documentation. So what I'm going to do is just add that file to my service. Yes, it's fine. And then you can set that it is friendly, and then you just click on create. It didn't allow me to upload this file because I have already created one. And it doesn't want to show me now because something went wrong. Beautiful. Best timing. Last time I had this session, Microsoft did an update on this Q&A maker. And 1 hour before my session, it didn't work at all. Like the whole service was down. I hope the same thing won't happen this time. Otherwise, we just move on to the next service and maybe come back to this later if it works. Let's wait for this tiny bit. But the idea is that when the knowledge base is done, we can take a look at it, like it will show the different parts of the documentation, what are the different possible questions the user can ask to get that question. And you can also add other questions to this knowledge base for that space, the same answer. So your customer can ask it in different ways. You can still answer it. And what you have to do then is to train and test, of course, your Q&A maker as like a normal machine learning model. And that's how it will be able to learn the answers for the questions, for the different questions. We won't wait for this any longer. I'm just going to, after testing and all that, you can publish your Q&A maker, and then you can create a bot for it. Luckily, I have already created the bot as well. And when the deployment is successful, this is what you can see first about your bot. Again, you can find a really good idea on how to get started with this bot, and you can find some emulator that for testing purposes. You can use a web chat for trying out your question and answer game. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you is the different channels you can use to put your bot to. So you can use Cortana channel, a direct channel, Teams channel, and there are a lot more channels that you can use. So basically, you can set it up for your own Facebook page, and this bot is able to answer the customer's question anytime. So let's go and test it here. I don't think this will actually work, but maybe I just show you quickly again how does this work. Knowledge base. But in the meantime, you can see that even though that this configuration service is down, your bot is still working and it is welcoming you to ask your question. So I'm going to ask a question. Hi, dude. How about charging this machine? This is like how you would never ask a question, right? But it still can answer your question. That this is how you can charge your Surface Pro, which is pretty cool, right? Okay, and this is the knowledge base what is fed to my Q&A maker, and this is how it can answer all kind of questions. And you can add alternative phrasing of the different expressions that you want to be able to answer to. All right, let's head back to the slides and continue to the next thing. Your application must be available to anyone. Imagine you have maybe a blind person who wants to communicate still with your application. You might want to, make an application where the user cannot just act by touch screens or something like that, but it could communicate with your application with talking. So the speech surface is the unification of speech to text, text to speech, and speech translation into a single Azure subscription. It is easy to speech enable your applications, your tools, and devices with the use of the Speech SDK, the Devices SDK, or the REST APIs. You can use these services additionally to recognize the intention of the speaker, or you can use it as a voice assistant like Cortana or the other girls, of course. All right. So let's see how this can be used. I'm going to show you different aspects of using this service, but first of all, we are going to go and create a new resource that is speech. Again, you can find the documentation here, and you can click create. And I would like you to note that, I don't know if you remember, but most of the time when we created a new service, we had to specify the name, subscription location, pricing tier, and the resource group. It's most of the time it is the same. It was a bit different for the Q&A maker because it had external services as well to use, but most of the cognitive services can be set up with the same exact steps, which is pretty awesome. It makes it much easier for us to use. All right, when you created your new speech resource, you can just go again to the resource and it takes you to the quick start. There you can take a look at again how you can reach the subscription key and how you can reach the endpoint. I suggest you to take a look at this Discover part and try and learn more about how you can use these services. And for this service, instead of showing you the API endpoints, I prepared some code for you. And I hope you can see my code that I have prepared a WAV file where I'm saying that I am Eve and it's very nice to meet you. The weather is nice, it's just a little windy. And what I want to do is that from this video, I want to be able to recognize what I'm saying. So what I'm doing first is that I'm configuring the speech as a speech endpoint, specifying the key and where the region is of my service. Then I specified the audio file, and then I want the recognizer to be configured using this configuration, what is the source language, and the input the type has. And then I use this recognizer and record all the events that are happening on the way. And what I want to do also is that this result includes a lot of metadata as well, a lot of timing, dates, lot of side information that I am not really interested in. So instead of getting in all the information, I'm just going to get the text out of it and put it into this array. And when the video is over, then the recognition work should stop. I also added another function here to translate the text from text. Again, specified how the endpoint should look like. And please note that I'm going to translate. And I am translating to 3 different languages. What? 4, sorry. So it's German, Italian, French, and Hungarian as well. So I define the header and the body. And this input is going to be the text result that I just got from the video. So what I'm doing now is that I'm going to call this speech recognizer function, and the result is passed to this translator. So let me run this file in the terminal. And you can see that it starts recognizing the text from the video, and it's always getting just a bit more information, and then it is translating it in batches. So this is my final text. It couldn't recognize my name, which is fine. But it is able to translate it like one by one. So ignore this sentence, but this sentence works fine. It's very nice to meet you. And it is translated into German. This is Italian, then French, and then Hungarian. And this all could be done in real time as well. So you don't necessarily have to get the text first and then translate it, because there is this translator API that can do these 2 steps in one step. So basically, for example, if you don't speak Danish, but I don't speak Danish either, but maybe you would. So anyway, so maybe we want to talk on the same language. So I'm translating my speech into your language maybe. And then you understand what I'm saying. Straight ahead from my mouth to your ear with the use of the speech translation API. Another thing I would like to show you, but the problem is that I am not sure if it will work and if you could hear that it works. But we can test, this natural text to speech. And if I put this text in, then there's like a guy's voice that can be passed, but actually there's a lot of hardcore work happening to use your own voice actually. And you can say just speak. And I am worried that it's only me who heard this. But the idea is that this is how far we are, and this can be built into your application as well easily. All right. Let's go on with our slide and to our next thing. Customers of your online marketplace would like to share products that have the name and some information on their covers or on their boxes. You could provide a service that allows them to upload an image of the product they want to sell. And then this service could read what is on the picture and use that to fill in the selling form. You can use this computer vision, the Read API, to extract printed and handwritten text from images into a machine-readable character system. The Read API uses the latest models and works with text on a variety of surfaces and backgrounds, such as receipts, posters, business cards, letters, and whiteboards as well. And you can also use the Optical Character Recognition API to extract printed text in several languages. OCR also corrects the rotation of the recognized text and provides the frame coordinate of each word. You can also use computer vision to detect adult content in an image and return confidence scores for different classifications. We have talked a lot about these classifications. I hope you still remember what I'm talking about, the three categories, right? So let me show you how to work with this service. And we start similarly from the Azure portal, and we create a new resource saying that I want to create a new vision. You go create. And this is a bit different on building it, but the main idea is the same. We choose the subscription, the resource group, the location, and we choose a pricing tier and then just create. So it's very similar, but it looks different. But I have this service available already, and I called it image to text. And when the resource is deployed, you can take a look again at the quick start, take a look at the documentation and all kind of cool stuff. And from here, I would like you to go to the API console. I check it out if I have it opened already. Yes, I have it opened already. And what I want to show you first is how to use the different endpoints. So there are there are a lot of endpoints that you can use within computer vision. So we can just go to describe a new image. And when you click on that, then you have to choose that you want to choose the endpoint that is in the North Europe region, because that's maybe what you defined. And then you also want to tell what is your subscription key, and that you can reach out from these keys and endpoints and just copy it, then you go back and paste it in. And from now on, you can go on and build the request. If you take a look at this HTTP request, you can see that there is the URL where the image is going to be sent. This is the host of your API endpoint, and this is the content type that it is returning. And this is the body, or basically the image that has to be described. So for this one, I prepared a cute image, this one. I hope you agree to play with this. So what you can do is just to paste that URL into that line of code and then just send the request. The responses arrived already, and it says that according to this image, it seems like a cat is sitting on a tree branch. It is 85% sure about this result, but just in case it returns you a few tags what made it think about a cat is sitting on a tree bench. All right, the next thing I would like to show you is the object detection. And don't worry, we will have a lot of time for questions. And I am even open for showing more stuff later if you are more interested in that. So the next thing is the object detection thing. You can choose again the region, and then we have to define the key here as well. The cool thing about writing a code for such services is that you don't have to copy and paste the key all the time. All right, but I have made this image for this demo, and this is a kettle here. And I'm going to paste this in here. And you can see the request looks very similar to the previous one. It's even maybe the same. I'm just going to send the requests, and we got the response already. Now we also get the size of the object, and that is a kitchen appliance. That is 65% of accuracy, which is pretty nice as well. It's not entirely sure, but sometimes it seems like a kitchen appliance, which is good enough for us, right? And the next and most interesting stuff is the OCR, or the optical character recognition. This is able to read books, basically. So we choose the region and we get the key again. Yeah, I should have written an AI to make this monotonous work instead of me, right? Anyway, so for this, we are going to use this image. You can also read the text, but let's see if my AI can read it. The request looks very similar again to the previous ones. And then we send the request and the response is resulted like this. And in the result, you can see what is the language found as a text on it, and the orientation that it is like up. It is not like turned totally around, you know. It is also telling you that there are some regions in the text. There are different boxes. The first box includes hate is love without, and the next box includes enough data, and then another box includes Richard Bach. And then again, you can review it on the picture. It is quite correct. But you don't have to get the results like that. You don't have to use it like this. I, for example, prepared a code for you to show you how much you can reduce the results actually, or you can make changes. We use the same subscription key, the same endpoint. This is exactly the same endpoint we just played with now. But now it is coded, the whole thing. I defined the URL, again, the same image, this Richard Bach image. I defined the header that you have been seen before, and that includes the parameters and the headers URL. I mean, not the headers, the image URL, sorry. And then we want to post the request with this configuration and put it into the response, and that goes into this analysis variable on which I'm walking through, and I want to get out only the words. And then use those words and put it into some text and then print it out in the end. So let's see what is the result of this code. And as a result, it's just returning this. Hate is love without enough data, Richard Bach. And there is one more thing I would like to show you after this demo. Because you might want to, use a service to easily analyze and import paper-based invoices you sent or received. So you might want to use this awesome form recognizer, which is a cognitive service that uses machine learning technology to identify and extract text, key value pairs, and table data from documents. It ingests texts from forms using high-definition optical character recognition, and outputs structured data that includes the relationships in the original file. You quickly get accurate results that are tailored to your specific content without heavy manual intervention or extensive data science expertise. You can call form recognizer models by using a REST API to reduce complexity and integrate it into your workflow or your application. Form Recognizer is made up of different services. First of all, the custom models that extracts key value pairs and table data from forms. And these models are trained with your own data. So they are tailored to your own forms. You can use pre-built receipt models that extracts data from USA sales receipts using a pre-built model. Or you can use the layout API that extracts text and table structures along with their bounding box coordinates from documents. So I would like to show you how does this work. And for this one, I go back to my intelligent kiosk to show you around. And I'm just going to start up this form recognizer. And let's start and take a look at some USA receipts. And we can use some example images. And see, it is already returning the data. The merchant is Cantoso. And it is, even though it is like written in a very funny way, so it's not, totally straight, and it is really difficult to read even, but it can read it very well. It can also read the street and the phone number and everything. And it can also see the receipts that, okay, you have ordered cappuccino and bacon and eggs. And all kind of extra information can be found. Even the tip can be read. See? 1.63. Could you actually read it with your eye? It's pretty nice, right? Let's take a look at something else. I would like to show you this here. It's even for me difficult to read some of the things. I cannot be sure whether that is an O or E. But AI, it's just so sure about what is happening here, it can read it without a problem. So see, it can read again the key value pairs, and it can pretty well identify what is written where. And it can also identify, and that is not just this intelligent kiosk that can do that. This is the API that can do this, that is used by this intelligent kiosk. And that it can see, okay, that this data comes from that part of the image. So we could play a lot longer with these different services. But let me now go back to my slide and see whether there is something else we should talk about. So all I want to tell you now is that it is really a great honor that I could show you these services, because I really think that it's important that you get a good understanding of that cognitive services are really easy to get started with. You can build into your application by writing a few lines of code only. You just have to define the endpoints, the headers, and send a request most of the time. And all the documentation can be found at the pages of Microsoft, and you are welcome to reach out to me anytime when you want, and I try to answer all your questions as well, or maybe I'll set up a Q&A maker for that. But otherwise, really feel free to contact me if you have any questions. So thank you a lot for listening, and I hope I could show you some useful information, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ava, for that one. That's really interesting and very much insightful. I believe everyone has learned something the last few minutes. So now in the following moments, we'll take time to take questions. So does anyone have questions so far from the session? If you have questions, please you can ask. Question.
Excuse me, was there a question?
No, I haven't heard any yet. I was asking you. Does anyone have questions? So okay.
I have a question. So
Okay.
I was just wondering, is there like a quick starter link for all the things you just showed us? Like a link to get started.
So once again, please, the question?
Yeah, so is there a link for beginners to get started with these various services?
So if total beginners, you can. That's the idea behind the cognitive services. That
did you get this question?
I think so. Wasn't the question that how a beginner can get started with cognitive services? Maybe where to start?
Yeah, that was the question.
Okay, so I think cognitive services is really useful for anyone who has no experience either on development or machine learning and anything like that. So I think a total beginner can easily get started as well. All you need to do is to go to Azure portal and get started with these services. And otherwise, I'll show you. Maybe you can go to Azure Cognitive Services and get started from here. You can find all the features, all the stories, APIs, the documentation, and everything you can find at the Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services page. And otherwise,
Right.
again, you can ask me if you have any questions further.
Okay, great. Great. Olumide, I hope your question.
Yeah, I'm just going to find that link and send it to the chat.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I can actually I can send it here. Where is my Teams? Oh, I can't put in an answer.
I have the link, so I'll just share it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Are there any more questions? No.
Is it another question? Okay. I don't think there are any more questions.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope it was interesting, and I hope you enjoyed this session today. And I'm very thankful that I could be here. So,
Can you hear me?
so thank you everyone again for joining.
Adiola, welcome back. Yeah, before we end this session, we are going to have a few minutes from what's his name again? From Chiebube and
I think there is another question from Simon.
Hello, Banji, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Eve. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good. Thank you. And you?
I'm good too. I see you're doing amazing session for this Microsoft Partner Program Nigeria, right? Really excited. I'll be there entire session. And these guys, Microsoft Partners from Nigeria, they have been doing a really great job. I've been looking on Twitter and on the internet. These guys are doing a lot of sessions and great. I think MSP program is something we all love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward for your session, Eve.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
All right, so we'll be having the how to become an MSP session by Benjamin and Ibube. I hope Benjamin is right. Benjamin, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Sorry, it took a while to unmute my mic.
All right. Is Chib able? Is he on board? Is he ready?
I think so. He sent me a message not too long ago, so I think he was ready.
Yeah.
I am. Today we busy.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Floor is all yours, man.
I'm fine. Let me get the slide loaded.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
It's really difficult to hear you as well.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Like, I'm about to share the slides. My name is Mbaramuku Chidebube, and I'll be taking you guys on how to be an MSP. So Let's. Yep. Let me start here.
I cannot see your screen yet. Oh, no, it should work. Now it works.
Okay. All right. Okay. So today we're talking about the Microsoft Student Partnership Program, and I'd like to give an introduction to how the whole program works. The program is a program for it's a program for students all over the world. It's a global program actually that brings students together who are passionate about enlightening their community. Program that enhances students' employability by offering training in skills not really taught in the academia. And it also boosts their knowledge of Microsoft technologies. They are given access to various various benefits, and they are given tools as well to help grow their community and bring light of technology to their nativity. Microsoft student partners are expected to bring expected to bring knowledge and share insights about the latest advancements in technology. Usually the ones that they are conversant with.
Chidem,
Yeah.
Chidem, kindly adjust your speaker. There's this noise coming from there. Like this clicking noise.
My voice. You have to excuse my speaker. It's not that functional. So can you all hear me? Please.
Yes.
Okay. So the student partnership program, whereas we as Microsoft student partners are expected to share insights and knowledge from our various endeavors, mostly the ones we are conversant with, and also the ones that we have been given access to by Microsoft. So we have some responsibilities to our communities, like we are expected to organize hackathons, lead our communities, and organize meetups, especially in this pandemic situation where people are forced to stay indoors. Life must go on, and there's no better way to share knowledge than organizing these virtual meetups like this one we're attending. And Microsoft student partners are also expected to enlighten their community wherever they are through blog posts and write-ups, even articles and YouTube videos. So we also expected to we also expected to share our insights even through social media. We have some benefits provided by Microsoft, which we're supposed to use to bring the knowledge to our community. So, as a Microsoft student partner, you're given a lot of tools and learning opportunities as well. You're given some benefits, which I will go into now. So, here are the benefits we get. As Microsoft student partners, you're given you're given a platform to develop your skills. You're expected to use your Microsoft Learn subscriptions to advance your knowledge of any field of technology. Thanks to Microsoft, we have the ability to learn normally sought either with money or even hard to get, like especially in this period that knowledge is knowledge is kind of needed. So we are expected to use these tools that we are given to make our communities understand technology better, even as and also to bring it even to laymen and people who are not even so enlightened. That's the job of Microsoft Student Partners majorly. So we're giving a platform like Teams where we can organize meetups. We're giving Microsoft products. We have softwares that are free for us, which you can use to further your technological pursuit and all that. And also, we're also giving free Azure subscriptions. We all know that the Microsoft Azure cloud is usually paid for, and even as students, most times we don't really get the you can't really get the money to meet all your needs concerning the Azure cloud. So we're giving free Azure subscriptions. I think it's $100, and we're expected to use it to boost our knowledgeability and also help the community. And also one of the major perks of this student partnership is that we are entitled to about when you get through a certain phase, you then be paid Azure credits, which you can use to further your career, whatever you're interested in, all the Microsoft products. You'll be able to use the full functionality of the cloud once you get these credits. So it's all it's all just when you pass the alpha level, which is just the beginner phase when you get into the program early. So then the one last program that is majorly for student partners is when you advance and get known, boost your recognize your when you boost your your impact in your community, you can actually get the chance to attend Microsoft summits. That's the MSP summits, which usually held like when the world is normally free for travel and all that. You can actually travel out of your country to go and like the last one we experienced, the Microsoft build. Some of us were actually supposed to even be there. A lot of Microsoft meetups and worldwide gatherings are usually at the fingertips of Microsoft student partners. So it's one major goal. And all this, you don't have to pay for any of this. You just need to be willing and show up, make yourself available, and you start to enjoy all of these benefits. But the main goal of this Microsoft Student Partnership is to bring the light of technology to your communities, to spread the word and enlighten those that are finding it difficult. Probably those who have the passion but do not have any form of guidance or inclination as to what to do or where to go. So then I'll take you through the process of being an MSP, of getting that opportunity. First, you have to go to studentpartners.microsoft.com. That's their official webpage for student partnership signups. So you go there, you fill the form, and you create a video. They'll ask you a few questions, even things that concern your engagements, like with the tech community. They'll ask you for your Stack Overflow account and your LinkedIn and even your YouTube channel. You can actually post or link your YouTube channel there because you even be required to make a video of yourself. So you have to also make a not too long video just describing your passion for tech and the reason why you want to pursue the program. Then you have to wait. They're taking in quarterly, so you have to just apply and then wait for the next quarter of the year to check whether you're being granted. And once you're called up for the program, you just go ahead and live the dream. It's as easy as that. It's not that difficult. So it's important that you understand you have to go to this site and that video is either you make the video or you write a. There are some things you're supposed to write, but the video is important. So I would really suggest whoever is trying to get started with this program should definitely go check it out. There's nothing to lose. You can be a force for good wherever you are. You can be a force for enlightenment and enlightening your community about tech and all that. So we should also understand that the program is aimed at helping people. So even when you get the program, get the opportunity, try to use it as much as you can to do justice to the cause, which is bringing the light of technology to people around you. So I'll be calling up Benjamin, who is already an MSP, to give us a summary of his experience as an MSP. So Benjamin, I'll call on you now to take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, GWB.
Yeah.
Okay, see, just to throw more light on everything he has said so far, basically the MSP program offers students an opportunity to directly interact with Microsoft technologies that are available, give them a platform to be
Hello,
able to
Benjamin.
connect. Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Hello,
So
can you hear me?
because of our time, you might have to keep it really short.
Yeah, sure, no problem, no problem.
All right. Thanks.
So back to what I was saying, the MSP program gives students an opportunity to bring the Microsoft technology community closer to the university. Basically, gives them an opportunity where they can get access to certain tools, technologies, and all of that that can help grow and enhance their local tech community within their universities and their local campuses. So basically, getting to be an MSP doesn't require much. You don't need to be a tech genius. You don't need to have so much experience in terms of a lot of technologies. All you just have to have is basically a knowledge of what you want to do, the passion for technology, and the will to bring people together. It's definitely worth a shot. I, for one, I didn't have so much experience when I applied. I didn't really have so much to show, but I just took the initiative and I went on and I applied, and here I am today, helping bring the good gospel of the Microsoft Student Partners Program to my local community. So yeah, if you're hearing about it for the first time, I definitely advise you to apply and give it a shot. And who knows, you might just be the next person to be out there talking about Microsoft Student Partners programs. So yeah, that'll be it for me. Thank you very much for paying attention.
All right.
Back to you, Paul.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Benjamin, for that. And Chidi Ebube, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for wrapping this session. So I was just praising you. I don't know if Eva is still on this call.
Of course I am.
All right. I was wondering if you might have any other thing to say, perhaps in addition to what the two guys have said.
I'm sorry, once again. What did you say?
I said, do you have any other thing to say in addition to what Benjamin and Chidi just said about the MSP program?
Oh,
Perhaps you want. Okay, yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if that's an addition, but I think it's a great honor to be part of that community, to learn from the best, from the experts.
Okay,
And
maybe you want to give. No, go on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I think it's really a great thing to be part of that community. When I was a student partner, I remember it was always like being a bit different from the other students, you know? You are not just a student anymore. You are a student advocate, and you are someone who others can rely on and ask questions if needed. So you are like a role model, basically. It's a pretty cool thing, I think. And of
Yeah,
course the community is awesome. Like all people I know as MSPs and MVPs are crazy good kind of people. So it's like it's a pretty awesome community.
yeah, I think so too. Thanks a lot for that addition. Adiola, are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you just left. You just left me.
No, you're doing a great job. So
All right. I don't know if you have any other thing to say, perhaps questions or.
no, that's a
All
thank
right.
you to participants. Thank you for joining the call. We do hope that you learned something or two. Hello.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Hello.
That's the call. Hello. Hello.
What was that?
Oh, I think you are all right.
It's really
Can you
difficult to
hear
hear
I'm
me?
not
you.
hearing. Okay.
Oh, wow. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh, I said, are we ending? We're ending the call now, right?
Yes, we're ending the call right now. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. We just wanted to hear your voice.
Okay.
All right. So if that's it, we'll be ending the call right now. Thank you very much, Eva. Thank you to all of our attendees, and see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was a great honor to meet you all.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank you for coming, Eva.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for this session. It was great.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eva. Your session was quite inspiring.
Awesome. It's really nice to hear that. Thank you for the feedback.
All right.
I also thank you guys for the hosting and the other talk. It was really interesting to hear your perspective.
Oh, wow. That's fun. Thanks for everything. All right. See you guys later.
All right, guys, I'm also dropping off because I have a meeting soon. So thank you again for this afternoon. It was really nice to see you
All right.
guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Have
a
a great
pleasure.
afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.